This movie is Fatal Affair, and this is the story of this great lawyer who's played by Nia Long, and she has a successful career in corporate America. She has a husband, she has a daughter in college, but she got this last case that she's doing at this corporate job, and as soon as she finishes that case, she's going to go off and start her own law firm. Now, unbeknownst to her, the firm hires a classmate who a classmate of hers, and they get to rekindle their friendship, and one thing leads to another, and I'll say it in a Jada Pinkett Red Table type style. They got into an entanglement. And so with that, we'll talk about the movie. The first two things that I'm going to say about it is, and then I want to hear from the critics, is that I think it's, for me, it was good to have a woman messing up. Thank you. It's about time. You know, it was good to have her messing up. But I did keep asking myself throughout this whole film, when do you really tell your husband what's going on here? Because there were so many places in here that I was like, girl, you got to tell your people. I'll start with Carolyn first. Oh, no, I don't care who to start. Somebody jump in. What did you think about this movie, and what kind of things did you like, didn't like? And then I'll jump in as well.
Can we preface it?
It was okay. It was an okay, typical okay cheating, like crazy stalker film. Like, you know, it's like, you know the plot, you know what's gonna happen. There were moments I was like, really, lady, you're smart. You gotta move smarter than this. Like, first thing first, sell yourself out. I'm the kind of person my mother is like, sell yourself out before anybody else can sell you out. She should have gone and tell her husband, listen, I messed up. This crazy dude is coming behind me. Like, tell the husband, tell the friend, like, get it over and done with quickly.
All right, okay, so it's okay for you. So it was
an entertaining watch. I would watch night along in anything.
All right, Sean.
Well, here, let's preface this first. You know, everything that we're talking about, let's keep it really, really real. Everything that we talked about the last 4 months, we're grading on a pandemic curve. Because, I mean, if there wasn't a pandemic, my God, like, seriously, like, no, come on. So, you know, it's a pandemic, so we're gonna let you slide. Also, second note, Nia Long's been making movies for 3 decades. Jumped it off for Boys in the Hood. Omar Epps has been making movies for 3 decades. Love him opposite Tupac Shakur and Juice. That's enough to earn a hard pass. You know, people got bills to pay. Mortgages are due. Times are hard. Hollywood's been shut down for a really long time. Also, I like the fact that Nia Long produced this. I'm never mad at anybody who jumps behind the camera because the game is mad difficult for real. But with that being said, this movie's straight garbage. Right. It's worse than a low rent Tyler Perry movie, but miraculously, it's very fun to watch. There are more potholes in this movie than De La Soul's 1989 song, "Potholes in My Lawn." Like, there's potholes, plot points, and then they just make reference. I hate when people write a script and they make reference points just for the sake of making a reference point. And the major reference point that's made that disqualifies the entire movie is Nia Long's husband. It's mentioned that he's in the FBI freaking I.
Wonder if that was a joke. I wasn't sure.
No, that was not a joke. That's the biggest. That disqualifies the entire movie.
I thought he was an architect.
No, he's in the FBI.
Gotcha.
No, he was an architect. Because remember,
he's an architect in the movie because he has the drawings in the scene. So maybe he used to be in it. Anyways, getting back to the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
it's getting back to the movie.
So you say straight out garbage, Katya.
Well, because it's too.
I mean, I'm not going to say that we're giving people a pandemic curve because it is what it is. We are in a time and nobody could have foreseen this coming. You know what I mean? Especially where we are right now. So, you know, you are dealt the cards that you are given. And if they win by that, I'll be more for it. Now, speaking of the movie, I love Nia. I love Omar. I'm happy that Steven got an opportunity to be in a project that showcases him to more people, because he's been a guy that's been around a long time, but he's kind of like what you want to call Black famous. We know who he is, but the rest of the world doesn't. So I was happy for him to get an opportunity where he's coming into more households, so to say. Having said that, yeah, this movie it had a lot of problems. You know what I mean? I don't care if you did it for a check. Again, you do things for whatever makes you feel happy, and I'm not going to judge anybody for that. But this movie was very problematic. I think it was very predictable. I think that all three of them are too good of actors for this subpar material. You know what I mean? And that's why we're sitting here and we're asking ourselves, like, why didn't she tell her husband earlier? We're confusing details like, I didn't even see that. Sean is saying that he was in the FBI. I'm like, no, the man is an architect, because there was a whole scene where he had the drawings out.
But it doesn't matter.
But because it lacked detail. The whole situation with the friend, like how he how did he even know that she was the friend? Do you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of
it was a lot.
It's asking us to make a lot of assumptions that are too much.
Let's talk about the biggest flaw. I mean, look.
That we don't know what was wrong with the husband.
No, Omar never even slept with her.
Right.
He
didn't get it in.
I mean, I don't think you need to sleep with someone to be crazy and have delusions. You know what I mean?
No, but it's called fatal affair. It's not an affair.
Right. That is so good that you say that, because it was not an affair. And
not an affair.
And so for me, Katia, I so happened, maybe it's just a male thing. I was like, he didn't even get with her. So what's up, dude? You acting like y'all really got it on, and that she was the best. I forgot who sang that song, Best I Ever Had. She's the best I ever had. I'm like, come on now.
And it had potential. Like when it first started off, I was like, okay, like we might have a little something here. Let me not be so quick to dismiss it. But like, again, it just was very, the material, they deserve better. They deserve better.
So
but I am happy that Nia got to produce a film. I just think she deserves to produce something better, to get her PGA stamp.
What was funny for me was that when you look at this, all the situations that were going on in this, even in the beginning, he's holding her hand like, I'm like, nah, ain't nobody gonna come into your job and work you like that. And I wasn't feeling all the things that went along. But what I will say, it's interesting that Sean said this, because this is what I wrote in my review, is that I found myself talking to the screen. No, yes, no. And I stayed with it. I'm not saying like I thought it was a phenomenal movie, but I actually stayed with it because there was something about it that made me stay with it.
It's messy fun. We all like messy from time to time. Like Showgirls is a hot mess, but we somehow watch the film because we know it's a mess and we laugh at the messy parts and it pulls you in. You know what I mean?
Because you gotta see how much more of a mess. Like for me, another part that really bugged me is her friend Courtney. Like, how do you know this woman for years, and this man just met. You'll be like, oh, could you do that? I'm like, you literally just met this man. The man is a freaking hacker. You're gonna just show a text message. I would have been like, okay, there's a text message on my phone saying it's from you. Show me your phone showing that you. I'm like, these people are lawyers. Where's your common sense? That bugged the hell out of me. I'm like, no one is using common sense.
I love it. I love it. So we'll go around the horn. I'm actually, it's really interesting because I'm a soft watch on this one. And Sean said it differently than I would have in terms of pandemic curve. I was calling the shelter curve, is that if I'm in house and I got to be at the crib, I watched it with my wife. We laughed, we had fun, but this would not be a film that I would recommend. I would say, hey, you got to go see it if it were in the theater. But if you're at home, we're in the pandemic, I'm saying watch it.
No, that's the most beautiful thing about Nia Long. This is her first opportunity to produce. She has no pressure. This movie doesn't have to perform at the box office where we'd be in a position to lose millions of dollars. It's on Netflix. It's prepaid. It just has to get views. Yep. It's going to get views. They're-
Yeah.
That's why Netflix is saving people's careers. Like, if this were released theatrically, she's one and done.
No, I agree. Is like Kathy called it messy fun. Like this is one of those films that if you're absolutely bored on a Sunday and there's nothing else that you can think of to watch, I would watch this. And it is a film I would probably watch with like my girlfriends who'd be sitting down just like cackling and talking about it and like talking at the screen because I did that. I was like, what are you doing? And it's honestly, but if I, as professionally as a critic, if I was to write a review and think, I would be like, not worth your time. But we're home is like we are all bored. It's like things are getting monotonous. You want something to break monotony. Watch it, and I would watch Night Long in anything, as proven by me watching this film to the end.
Cool. Well, Katya, you got the last word on this one.
I mean, one thing I will say that it did have over a Tyler Perry movie. That house was the bomb. Like, you know what I mean? I will say that's the plus in the movie was where they shot it. And you know what? The wigs were way better. The hair was tighter. We didn't get a bad S curl, you know. So the pluses out of that is everybody's costuming and the set was 1,000% better. I mean, if you turn down the sound and you just want to peek at that house, that might be worth a good 40 minutes, you know.
I agree. I agree. Way better than a Tyler Perry movie. Wigs were on point. Costume was on point.
Yeah, so you know, I will give. Hey, there's something positive about everything, and that's the positive.
All right, I'm not sure that that's gonna get me to watch it, but I hear you.